Hi everyone, Frank here. It is December the 27th, and I mentioned in my latest communication to the Satoshi Multiplier family that we're going to be taking the downline builder in a new direction for 2023. The programs that are in there are great and they're not going anywhere, but you're really limited in the amount of income and the effort it takes to make really a small amount of income with those programs. And to me, they should be there for people that need to kind of, earn the capital needed to get into a more serious business opportunity, or if they can afford to join a couple of the recommended legitimate MLM type opportunities that we recommend through the Satoshi Multiplier Group and through Rob and Traffic, leads to income, then those programs can be used to generate a very nice advertising budget and kind of fund your advertising budget. And that's kind of the direction that I want to take 2023. So part of that is going to be a little more emphasis on. There's going to be three main programs that we recommend. Two of those are already there. One's a new one that I'm going to be added. And then we're also going to, I have a huge passion for crypto trading. I've been trading regularly since about 2016, 17 on Coinbase Pro. I recently found Pionex, and I really kind of fell in love with what they offer. They're an exchange that recently, kind of expanded out to the United States. So they do have, as you can see up here in the top left-hand corner, this is the Pionex.us. This is for USA members. Right now, as I'm recording this here on December 27th, I believe they're in 41 or 42 states. I know just in the short time that I've been kind of getting my funds transferred from Coinbase Pro over to Pionex and kind of playing around with the built-in bots that they have here. You can see the bots here on the left. They've added Oklahoma, and there is a map on the site somewhere that shows all the states. So hopefully, if you're part of our Satoshi Multiplier family and you're in the United States, that you reside in one of the states that is already approved and licensed for trading. And if not, then the rest of the world is pretty much using the regular Pionex website, and there should not be a problem. One of the things that I liked about Pionex is they aggregate with Binance and Huobi. Binance, obviously, the largest exchange in the world, and Huobi is one of the top 4 or 5 exchanges as far as volume for liquidity. So liquidity is really never an issue. Now, because they aggregate with those exchanges, I do recommend once you're in here that you trade in USDT and not USD. The only thing I would recommend in USD is if you do want to just trade Bitcoin and you live in the US, Bitcoin has plenty of volume, but because they're aggregating with Binance and Huobi, and they don't really trade in USD, it's mostly USDT, then that's where the higher volume and the higher liquidity is on the exchange. So that's one change that was new for me. I've always traded in USD on Coinbase Pro, and here I will trade in USDT just to have higher liquidity and be able to get in and out of limit orders, you know, without any issue because there's plenty of liquidity there. So just a little bit of walkthrough. Now, everyone has to kind of start at their own pace. One thing that I'll never do is give trading advice because that's, I'm an individual doing this. I'm not a professional, so I can kind of share what I do, but never take what I do as advice. Matter of fact, right now I'm kind of trying something new here that I've never done before, so I will be able to let you guys know probably 6 months in. If what I'm doing is working, I'll kind of share a little bit about what I'm doing here in a minute. Um, so there's really only two bots here that I really recommend you use. If you're new to this, I would recommend using either the just the regular grid bot, which is what I'm using for everything, or the Infinity Grid Bot. The Infinity Grid Bot, what that is for someone that really don't want to pay much attention to their investment. They want to just set it and kind of just leave it. That's someone that's in here for long term. So with the Infinity Grid Bot, all you do is choose your bottom price, and they have an AI strategy here. I like to customize everything. I don't just use the settings they have, but there's some stuff in here that I'll show you that when we get over to the grid bot that I really like about it. So basically, you would just set your lower limit. Now this is the limit that in the Infinity Grid bot, the lower limit is how low it's how low you think that it would ever go. In other words, if you want to set that to something that you think it would never go to. If I was trading Bitcoin, I would probably look at at least the 12-month history if I was setting it up here and I want to just forget it. So, given what I've seen with Bitcoin, I would probably set this somewhere around $14,000. If Bitcoin drops below that, I'm not worried about as far as Bitcoin, as far as holding it because I'm going to stay in the crypto market. I'm not going to abandon it and leave. It's either going to make it or it's not, and I'm going to be around in it because I love the space. So I would just kind of set, I might even set it higher than that because I'm not worried about holding the coin. Now, if I'm going to trade a coin that is a little more suspect, something that I'm not as confident on, then I may go lower so that it doesn't, trade, that I don't think it ever trade below. Now, what the Infinity Grid Bot does, you do not set an upper limit. With the calculations in it, it will trade for you no matter how high it goes. As long as it never drops below your lower limit, it's going to trade for you. So you just basically set your lower limit. You choose what profit you want per successful trade for every sell. A successful trade is a buy and a sell. So for every successful buy and then it goes back up and it resells, what profit do you want? It defaults to 0.6%. You can set that to anything you want, and then you put your total investment in. And depending on what you put in here, there'll be a minimum, but I've seen where you can set bots up for as little as, $10 or $15. I have several running at $1,000 each here. So that's the Infinity Grid bot. Now you go back to the regular grid bot, which is what I have set up. This is where you get some information that I really like. So if you look here, you got a volatility index. So if you wanted to be, as I said, if you want to be very, um, reserved or conservative, then you want to trade in the bigger name coins, and you'll see the volatility here. You can check on it in 7 days, 30 days, and 108 days. The volatility index, which is what I really like. This shows you how volatile the price has been, how erratic it's gone up and it's gone down. And this even gives you, based on their recommended settings here, it even gives you what your profit would have been had you been doing that. So if you look at this right here, at 180 days with their recommended settings, you would have made 10.42% over 180 days, over 6 months. And you could have traded with this bot for as little as $21.13 or as much as 600 based on these settings that they have here. And this is using their settings. 30 days, it's 2.68%. Again, so as you could set the bot up for as little as $7.25 or as much as 634. And the 634 is only there because that's how much available USDT I've got. So really it's just a minimum number. And the last 7 days, you can see that it's not been very volatile at all. As you can see, I've got this set on the 1-day chart. Bitcoin has just pretty much been, stagnant since about a week before Christmas. Let me show you a different, this is probably the most volatile, and I'll show you the difference. The most volatile token that I have seen is FET in the few weeks that I've been over here. So if you look at the last 7 days, volatility index of 7.21. In 7 days, based on the recommended, settings right here, it's 4.18%. 30 days, 19.64%, and 180 days, 16.98%. It's been extremely volatile, going up and down in the last few weeks. So here I use the custom settings. I set the upper limit, the lower limit. Again, what I would recommend you do is be very conservative. If you don't have the stomach to take a loss, then be very conservative. Look at the 52 week or the all-time lows. If you think we've hit all-time lows on some, not just Bitcoin, but there's other really solid tokens out there. Look at that. If you want to be conservative, set it there. You can always go in and modify your settings later once you get comfortable. But be sure and cover the lower limit. The upper limit, I don't worry too much about that, because as it goes up, one thing that they allow you to do here. So in other words, if you set, we'll take Ether for example. So if we look at the weekly here, so this is going to bring in the weekly chart. If we look at the weekly chart here, it's going to go back about a year and a half. It's going to go back until July of 2021. And if we look at the lowest that it ever really closed in a year and a half was around $1,055. The lowest that it ever wicked to was right here around $870. You want to be very conservative? Set it at $870. Now it's gone up as high as 5,000. Now I wouldn't set it at 5,000 right now, and I'll show you why. You can always change that. So if you set it at 5,000, and let's just say we're gonna, we'll do 100. So if we do 100 grids, that's going to offer you a profit anywhere from 0.74 up to 4.7. And obviously when the price moves up and down, it changes. Now you can change that. I always do it in arithmetic. You can do it in geometric, and it's the same percentage no matter what. I like it where as it goes up and down, you can actually make higher profits, and I kind of just set my minimum. But you can see I could do that. I could do this bot and for as little as $18.60. Now, I don't, with Ether trading at $1,200, I wouldn't set it at 5,000 up here where it hit like an all-time high. I mean, if you go back just in the past 6 months, it really hasn't been over $2,000. So if we set this to 2,000, let me show you, you can now, your profit is going to be much better because you can do less grids. Say you want to make 0.75% per trade. Now you can kind of play around with the grids here. So instead of 100, so you can do around, say, 70 grids, and you're making a minimum of 0.75% per trade, and that's after your fee is deducted, versus 100 grids. So in other words, you're going to be trading in bigger lots. So your profit per trade is going to be more. And if it goes up above 2,000, you can always go in and adjust your upper limit. That's one thing I like about the bots here that I've never had the ability to with the ones I've used in the past, is to be able to adjust the upper limit or the lower limit, or even add money to it if I want to. And you can do this. You can see the minimum with these settings, the minimum would be $12.45. You could actually set up a bot to run for as little as $12.45. So there's kind of a misnomer that you need a lot of money to trade. What people don't understand is your fees are all on a percentage, it's a percentage regardless of if you're making a $1 trade or $1,000 trade. You're paying a percentage as far as your fee. And here it's like 0.10% for each trade, 0.10%. So it's all about percentages. I kind of ignore the dollars and kind of work on the percentages here. So anyhow, that's we can kind of get into all that, and you can work through all that once you get your account set up and get started. So let me show you, and I kind of show you. I unfortunately, when I set most of my bots up, we were in this range or this range right in here. Oh, get a dollar day trade within weeks. We were in, expand this out up here. We were kind of right up in here when I set most of the bots up. So I had a huge drop in price. So most of mine I've lost on the value, but kind of what I do, grid trading, I don't really pay much attention to the value. I kind of use these funds as a vehicle to generate grid profits. So let me show you here. So here's a good example. I've lost $60 on this, but I've made $28.73 trading. And this is really the only thing I'm looking for. When I set these up, my plan is to keep them running for quite a while. And my goal is to generate from 50 to 100% per year in grid profit. Now, as long as that's great, because if my profit here is my unrealized profit, which is the difference in the price going up and down, if it I don't really care if it goes up, that's just a bonus. If it goes down, my only concern is, am I growing my grid profit over time bigger than than the actual price of the token, because I'm buying and selling continuously. You can see here, if you project what I've done here, this bot's been live for 8 days, 22 hours, and 4 minutes, and I've made after fees, I've made $28.73 profit on it. It's 2.87%, which is on the $1,000 that I got invested in this bot. But if you project that out over a year's time, that's 117.56%. Same here. You can see while the value, because the prices fell quite a bit, we had about a 2 days period there where everything fell about 10 to 15%, and some of the alt tokens dropped as much as 20% and then bounced back. You see here, I've lost $43 on the actual value of the tokens I've owned, but I've made $41 trading. Again, here's another one where I've lost $10.46 on the value, but I've made $30 already trading just in 8 days on this. So that projects out to 123%. So my goal is to try to work these and get them in 123%. So let me show you what I'm doing. And again, this is something I'm just trying, so I don't recommend this at all because it could be a horrible strategy. But I've always wanted to kind of follow the market up and down in a little trading window. And here you can see if I'm +7 on the buy side, I'm -8 here. So I'm in about an 8% window, somewhere around a 7 to 9% window here. And I just kind of follow it up and follow it down and try to keep I don't go lower. In other words, if the price here drops to say 0.20%, I'm going to adjust my range. My range on storage is 0.2563 to 0.277. That's where my buy and sell orders are. And right now the price is 0.2585. If it falls below 0.2563, then it's going to buy and it's going to put another sell order over here. And when it goes back up, it'll sell. Now, if it keeps dropping, then I'm taking a little bit of a loss on the tokens I'm holding, and I'm coming down to the price. I'm not going beyond that. That's what I'm trying right now, just to see. I want to do it for a while and see, because my goal here is this right here. This is what I'm focusing on. if I can take this bot and I can make $500 a year trading on it, and still have funds here. Obviously, if this drops $500, I don't do anything, but that's going to go up and down with the price going up and down. And right now, the price is pretty much has gone down since I've started, so I really am not concerned about that, uh, that much. So we'll see where this goes. I can kind of give you some updates on what I'm doing. But if you're just getting started out, I can help you set your bot up, set it up conservative until you really feel comfortable with it. And you may, mess around in your account and come up with a strategy that works really well. It's really trial and error, and just never ever ever trade with funds that's going to cause you heartache if you were to lose them. So that's what that's the key to trading. If it's going to cause you heartache to lose the funds, then put it somewhere where it's guaranteed, and like a CD or something, and earn your 1.5% or whatever you're going to get out of that. But this is for risk capital. This is capital that you want to take, that you know you're willing to take the risk to make that, be able to double it in a year, and that's possible. Last year was horrible, and if you made money trading crypto last year, you were a genius. But 2 years ago and 3 years ago, I took about $70,000 and grew it into a half million, and that allowed me to do some things in my finances that really awesome, as far as paying cash for a vehicle, paying off mortgage, and then obviously sending a big chunk to the IRS. But this year got a huge, huge loss. But that's okay. It'll be a good year filing taxes this year, and probably the next two or three, until I absorb all that loss back into profits. So, but the market is in a good place right now, I think. It's gone through some turmoil, which has driven the prices back down to really around where they were in 2017, when we were hitting all-time highs and everything kind of took off. Bitcoin hit around $19,000 in 2017. I actually sold some Bitcoin for $19,500 right before Christmas, a token in 2017, and then the bottom fell off. It fell all the way down close to $3,000. Now here we are, 5 years later, and Bitcoin is trading right around, $17,000, 16,817, less than in the all-time highs that we were at in December of 2017. So I made a lot of money from 2017 to now, but had I bought Bitcoin in December at 19,000 and I just sat on it in a wallet and did nothing, I would have made nothing over the last 5 years. So that's why I think trading is a great way to kind of take these digital assets and grow them and make some money with, if you get really a systematic system, and you do, you know you're able to figure out how to take the emotions out of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because you can't, if you have emotions, you're going to cause you to lose sleep trading, then it's not for you. It needs to be emotionless, and be fun. And if it's that, then you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But if you have a good system in place, you're going to win more than you lose, and that's really what the game is about: being able to win more than you lose, and grow the profits. So anyhow, this is going to be added into the Satoshi multiplier, and again, we'll do some training and stuff on how to set up bots, and we'll be there for some assistance, where we can. We'll do everything but investment advice that I can't do. We're not gonna go down that road, because it's all gonna be, it needs to be your decision. But I can show you how the mechanics of it work, and answer any questions about the bots and how they work. Now you see right now I'm on the desktop version. This is really meant to run on an app. There's a ton of functionality that's not available in desktop. I can't modify uh, one of the grids from here. I have to do it from my phone. The phone seems to have all of the functionality that is available through Pionex. And a lot of the functionality is really here. Really, all I use the desktop for is to view. You can set up a new bot from the desktop, but you really can't adjust. That option is just not there, or it's not there for me anyway. So I do it all from my phone, and I don't like to record from my phone, so I'm recording from the desktop here. So anyhow, that is it. Look forward to getting this added to Satoshi Multiplier soon after the first of the year. And those that are interested in trading, it's there. There is a referral program part of this. I don't know how that works yet because I don't have any referrals that are trading. Had a couple people set it up just to test it. I think it works better trying to set it up from your phone than the computer. So the one person told me that once they downloaded the app on the phone, that there was a place to enter my ID code or the little numerical code they gave me, and then I did see they are tagged to me in here. Now, when people do that, that's why I think it can add it to Satoshi Multiplier. When they do trade with USDT, certain pairs, you're going to earn 20% of their transaction fees, not deposits, not anything, not profits, the fee, which is only a 0.10% of whatever the trade is. So if I set something up for, $100, it's 0.10% of $100. You'd earn 20% of that 0.10%. So a very, very tiny fraction, but it's something that we can add in here that, could generate a little income. And again, there's no fee here. It's a free exchange, and it's you deposit money in. I send in crypto. Anyhow, that's where I'm going to end this. Once we get it added, I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions, and we'll work through them as everyone has questions. And look forward to a very fun and prosperous 2023. Take care.